We've heard a lot about change today, haven't we? How many of you are ready to make a massive change in your life? How many of you just raised your hand just because you raised your hand? Because I asked you to. If I asked you, if I told you that the CIA was watching you, knew every keystroke that you took, knew every place that you went, knew everything that you did, would you make a change then? Most of us probably would. But the CIA that I'm talking about is not the Central Intelligence Agency in Washington where they wear dark coats and they wear dark hats and dark glasses. I'm not talking about that CIA. I'm talking about the Central Intelligence Agency that resides within each and every one of us, from our hearts to our heads. How many of you are really ready to make a change? There you go. I needed to make a change in my life. I didn't know where I was going to go. Let me tell you just a little bit about where I came from. Born in a very, very poor family. I used to make 40 cents an hour for 14 hours picking cotton, picking cucumbers, picking onions, being out in the fields, being a laborer. But I saw something out there that I thought was possible for me too. But I needed to make a change. It's been said that if you want to change something in your life, you need to change something in your life. For me, as I was out there working in those hot fields, I'd see the rich farmer come out of the truck and he had the shiny shoes on. And I said, I want some shiny shoes too. Oh yeah, people laughed at me. But I said, I'm going to learn how to speak English even though I can't speak. I'm going to learn. And I watched Paul Harvey and I watched Walter Cronkite and I saw the way their lips moved. And I said, I can do that too. I can do that too. And so I said, I need to shine my shoes so I can go to church on Sunday. And they kept laughing. How many times have people laughed at you and it killed your dream and you stopped? That'll happen to you, ladies and gentlemen. But when they laugh, if you take the other course of action, if you decide instead to be spurred on by that laughter, by that humiliation and say, I can do it. If someone who was labeled educable, mentally retarded could make it. If someone like Art Linkletter, who came from Canada and was also abandoned, can make it, why can't I? Why can't you? It's important for us to try. I went from making 40 cents an hour, ladies and gentlemen, to bidding on and winning and executing $4 billion, that's a billion-dollar contracts. $4 billion. Now, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to tell you that if I can do something, you can do it even better with the resources that you have. I went from not being able to speak English to learning how to speak 6 languages. What I learned was not that I could learn to speak English, but was that I could learn to learn. And if we can learn to learn, what is it that you can accomplish? Anything. Everything is possible. Well, so many speakers will come up and they'll entertain you, and they'll entertain us in the audience, but they won't give us a strategy at the end of the day of how to get there. So it's purely entertainment. Today I'd like to leave you with a strategy that comes off of the acronym CIA, not the Central Intelligence Agency, but commitment, investment, and absolute faith. Let's start off with commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to be successful, if you're going to continue to grow, if you're going to continue to move on, and oh, by the way, they told me, you don't need an education because your kind don't get an education. Don't worry about that. Just get a job. And I went to 6 different universities. I learned that I could learn. The commitment level that's required for that is not just commitment when I say I want to lose weight, I'm committed to losing weight. It's a commitment to the commitment to lose weight. I don't know what your obstacles are. I don't know if you're trying to become a corporate executive. I don't know if you're trying to lose weight. I don't know if you're trying to get an education. What I do know is this. It's possible that if you're committed to the commitment at that level, you can accomplish anything at all. But you've got to invest. Invest in what? Microsoft? Dell? Enron? Exxon? You can invest in those and you'll get a return on investment, maybe. But the one place where you can get a massive return on your investment is if and when you invest in yourself. And everybody in this room has invested in themselves. You're here. You've spent all day here. You're learning. You're writing. I see you writing. You're taking notes. You're investing in yourself. And I guarantee you that the investment that you made, the return will come back multiple fold. It's been said, and I'm sure it's been said from this very stage, that the more you give, the more you will receive. So when you get that investment back, give it away. Lastly, have absolute faith. Absolute faith that when you start moving to another area, that those people that you were around that don't want you to be successful, that try to hold you back, have absolute faith that you can make it, because they're going to try to break your dream. They're going to try to drag you down. They don't want you to be successful because they're afraid of success. But what success will you have when it comes at you? Well, how much faith will you have? How much absolute faith will you have to keep going on? That's the question. So those are the three strategies. Commit at that higher level and invest in yourself and continue to have absolute faith. As I traveled all over the world from where I came at 40 cents an hour, I remember being in England and reading a tombstone that said something very impactful to me, and I'll share it with you. It said simply this: when I was young and full of vim and vigor, I dreamed of changing the world, but alas, the world would have nothing to do with my silly impositions. So I lowered my sights and I decided instead to change my country, my state, my family, and even they would have nothing to do with me. But now that I'm old and gray and on my deathbed, I suddenly realize that if I had only changed myself first, by that example, I might have changed my family, and who knows, maybe even the world. The good news, ladies and gentlemen, is this: you don't have to wait to get on your deathbed. You can start making the change right now with the strategies, with the lessons that you've learned thus far, and what you're going to learn in the next few minutes. You can start making that change and impacting the world, but you've got to want to do it. Repeat after me, ladies and gentlemen. I can. I will. I can. I will. I can. I will.